Hello, 7th graders. This is chapter 9.1a on making graphs. In this chapter, we will be working with graphing. We'll also be working with functions and linear functions. We're going to start first of all, though, by learning how to make graphs from data that we're given in a table. One of the first things we're going to have to do in establishing or making a graph is figuring out our scales and intervals. Generally, we are going to use a horizontal scale, and that's going to be for the data that's in the first column or the left-hand column. We generally will use the vertical scale for the data that is in the second column or the right-hand column. And if you will notice in the grid that I give you to the right, I have amount saved in dollars and interest earned in dollars. This particular kind of graph is called a first quadrant grid. Now we are going to have to choose intervals for the horizontal scale. In this case, as I've said, we're going to let each interval be $100. Generally, I will kind of give you an idea of what to use for intervals, although at some point in your study of math, you'll be doing this yourself. Then you need to choose the interval for the vertical scale. And given the data that I have here, I've decided to let each interval be $4. Our second step is going to be to use the points given to you in the table in order to represent the data and put them on the graph. Now, if we look at our graph, let's look at this horizontal scale. You'll notice that we start with 100, 200, then there's a blank. What goes there? Yes, 300. Then 400. Yes, there's another blank, and that stands for 500. So sometimes they kind of will give you the interval, and then they'll skip a few. They'll give you the 200, then go to 400, 600, 800, and 1,000. Now let's look at our vertical scale. Now here, every line is marked 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, and 36. Now if we look at our first data, it says that for $200 saved, we will earn $8 of interest. On our horizontal scale, we go over to the 200. Then we are going to go up to the line that matches with 8, and we are going to put a dot. The next column, or the next data given to us, is that for $350 saved, we are going to earn $14 interest. Our 300 mark is right here, which I've marked in red. So 350 would be halfway between the 300 and the 400, which would be approximately right where I'm making a little red mark now. I want to go to 14. Well, I have 12 and I have 16. Where is 14? Halfway between 12 and 16. So I am going to put a dot smack dab in the center of that square. Now for 500, I am going to graph it at 20. So 400, 500 will be at this red mark. I will go up to 20, make a dot. For 750, I'm going to have to do something pretty similar to the 350, aren't I? Because here's 700, so here is 750. And I need to go to 30, which is not on my 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. It is halfway between 28 and 32. So I'm going to go follow my 750 line all the way up until I can make a dot in the center of that particular box. And my last entry is for 900 with an interest of 36. My 900 is here on this line. I'm going to follow that up to 36 and make a dot. For this lesson, you are not going to be required to connect the dots. That comes in a later lesson. And this concludes lesson 9.1a on making graphs. Catch you next time.